and welcome to the Assets module on the platform. So once again, it's about bringing our whole fleet together in one place. So it doesn't matter what you're tracking, whether it's a generator, a delivery bike, a truck, it all gets an asset in the system and all lives in the same place. So we're looking at all the vehicles we've currently got added into RAN platform. You can see here it's going to show you some pretty vital information right from the get-go, things like the VIN number, the license and registration number, the make and model, and where your asset is currently located. But let's take a bit of a deeper dive and let's look at one in particular. Maybe we'll start with local fleet 2, which is the one we actually looked at on the map. Clicking through, that's going to take us to the individual page for this asset. And up the top we can see there's a lot of important information that it's going to give us straight off the bat. Things like the label, which is the name of the asset, and you can customize that to be anything to match up with how you run your fleet. We've got the group that it's currently assigned to. In this instance, it's assigned to Depot 1. If you also have team members in the business who are responsible for Depot 1, you can assign those users and assets together. And that'll also start to limit the visibility. So if they don't need to see assets that are in other depots or in other departments, they won't have visibility over them. We've also got our current driver field. So if there is a driver allocated, we can go ahead and allocate them here. Alternatively, they also have the option to do it through the mobile app as well. Down the bottom, we've got our colorful tags. This is where we can come and create and apply tags against our vehicles. Some basic information like our license plate, our make and model, and here we've got the VIN number. Something really powerful about RAN platform is it features automatic vehicle onboarding. So when you first onboard your fleet, particularly if you're using the vehicle tracker, you plug the device in, it detects the VIN number of the vehicle, runs that through a VIN decoding engine, and automatically populates a lot of information about the vehicle. If we go ahead and jump to the info tab down the bottom here, this is going to show us some of the information that it has pulled from VIN decoding. What this allows you to do is make onboarding really quick and simple. So rather than having to go through and fill out lots of boring information about all your fleet vehicles, it automates that and takes the stress out of it. Down the bottom, we've got access to all our different management and info tabs. So for example, if we jump to notes, that's a bit like a running dialogue that'll show quick notes or quick mentions to people in the team of things specific to this vehicle. Reminders is home of our smart maintenance functionality, so you can increment reminders based off how the vehicle is being used. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the date and time that you might know a service is due. You can actually start to do it based off things like the odometer reading or the runtime of the engine. In particular, if it's plant and equipment, it's particularly useful. If we go ahead and select odometer here, and we can make one quickly. So let's say we know that we have a logbook service due. For this particular asset, the odometer reading is 10,000 miles. And we know that we have to get one done at 11,000. And we might ask for a reminder at 10,500. And if we get to 12,000 miles and we still haven't done our service or our safety inspection, we're in trouble and we really want to know about it. So each one of these stages is going to give us a reminder, both as an email, and it's going to live in a bright red color against the asset as well. And we can select anyone in the business to be responsible for that. Go ahead and hit complete, and that reminder is now created. Whoever's responsible for that can come in and complete it and maintain that as needed. Obviously, we're looking at an individual asset level. When you're dealing with a large fleet, you can do this across a fleet level as well, and all of that lives in our reports module. Down the bottom, some other important tabs that you might use, things like our trips tab. That's going to give you the movement history of this particular asset, to show you where and when it's been. We can see it went from point A to point B. That's how long the trip was. That was who was behind the wheel. And over time, it'll also start to build up a safety score against your driver. So if you choose to use some of our driver safety functionality, every trip that's recorded against an asset can also be recorded against the driver who was behind the wheel. Start to build a safety score for them. We will just focus quickly on fault codes. So if we jump back to an asset, you may notice a little bit earlier that did have a fault code against it. It's going to show up as a little warning light here. So the GX6 vehicle tracker, when it detects a fault, it's going to send that information into the platform. There's a couple of different ways that you can know about it. It's going to then display this engine fault icon as we can see here. Alternatively, it's accessible through your reports. You can go to a fault code report, choose any date range you like, and report on all the faults received over that particular time period. Or where it starts to get really cool is when you combine that with our workflows, which we'll cover in our last module, which actually goes through and you can set up custom alerts and automation when you start to receive these faults. So key takeaway for the asset module, Once again, it's all about bringing all your assets together. Doesn't matter what you're tracking or how you're tracking it. It's about taking ownership of the management, being able to reflect where exactly in the organization this asset lives and who's responsible for it, and being able to automate some of the maintenance functionality. Moving on from this, in a few quick moments, we'll take a look at some of our reports and how you can take some of this key data that we saw and make some useful insights for your fleet.